Greetings, my name is Icha and I'm a legal intern at Lexis and Company. Today in this video, I will be talking about Death Caused by Rash and Negligent Act, which is covered under Section 304A. Section 304A provides punishment for causing death by any negligent act committed by a person. The most important aspect of this section is that it is applied only when the intention and knowledge of committing such an act is absent. It focuses upon a negligent act that is committed by an individual causing the death of another, and at the same time such activity does not lead to culpable homicide not amounting to murder or simply murder. The accused will be given punishment that can be extended up to 2 years of imprisonment or fine or both. Initially, there were no provisions for rash or negligent acts. A person was held liable only taking into consideration if he or she has committed culpable homicide not amounting to murder or simply murder. Negligence means any act committed that causes harm to the property or belongings of any other individual. Now, there are two important parts of this section, that is rashness and negligence. A negligent act is an act which constitutes breach of duty of a person, which a reasonable man would not do. And a rash act is not a deliberate act, but an act where there is recklessness on the part of the accused while committing the act. In this section, the principles of causa causum will apply, that is, immediate cause of any act. The act of the defendant should be such that it straightaway leads to the death of the person without any intervention of any other person. As we have discussed earlier, this section allows the criminality of the matter in spite of the absence of mens rea. It is important to remember that in such cases there can be no motive or intention of a person. Still, due to his or her negligence or rashness, the person may cause the death of another person. For instance, if we take a famous case of Cherubin Gregory versus State of Bihar, a woman named Madeline, who was the neighbor of the accused, was using the latrine of the accused as the wall of a latrine had fallen down. In order to avoid the exposure of the public, few of the neighbors of the accused, including the Madeline, started using the accused latrine. The accused was not happy as they were using his latrine without his permission. Even after making so many warnings, the deceased did not stop using his latrine. Therefore, after 7 days, the accused put up a naked copper wire which contained high voltage of electric current on the lane so that no one can utilize his latrine. The copper wire was not insulated and thus became dangerous for any individual to use the property. But Miss Madeline, the deceased, still continued to use the latrine. Even after taking many precautions, the hands of the deceased somehow touched the live naked wire, which as a return gave her an electric shock. Miss Madeline immediately died. The Supreme Court bench stated that Section 97 of IPC, which provides the right to private defense against himself or herself or his or her property, contains certain reasonable restrictions as given under Section 99 of IPC. The damage caused by the accused to Miss Madeline cannot come under the scope of Section 99 or Section 103 of IPC. The degree of force used in private defense should be proportionate to the threat caused. The Supreme Court accepted this contention of the appellant that the victim entered the premises of the accused at her own risk, and therefore the accused does not have any responsibility towards her, but it does give any right to the appellant to deliberately perform such acts that can cause grievous hurt to any trespasser. The court rejected the contention made by the appellant, stating that it was not possible to see the wire carrying high voltage with the naked eye even though a light was put up, and this cannot be considered a warning for the trespassers not to use his latrine. The apex court dismissed the appeal made by the appellant by stating that the appellant was committing a rash and negligent act, and as he had deliberately set up the wire, which was not insulated, having the knowledge that the trespasser, including the victim, could be harmed. Now, coming to the rash and negligent act while driving along a public highway. Here, individual driving a vehicle on any public highway in a rash or negligent manner that endangers human life and is likely to injure the other person will be punished under law. But the person who who causes death due to his own negligence, not having any intention or knowledge of the act while driving, is liable under Section 304A. If we look into the case of Dulichand versus Delhi administration, a public transport driver who while driving fails to notice that there is a crossroad and a pedestrian is crossing at his right and drives along causing death of that person. The court declared that the driver will be liable under Section 304A as his act was rash and negligent. Medical negligence. As per the report, the cases of medical negligence are increasing. Around 5 million people are dying every year. Doctors can be held liable for medical negligence under Consumer Protection Act 1986, Law of Torts and Indian Penal Code 1860. Essentials of medical negligence are as follows. First, there is a duty to take care of the other party. Second, there is a breach of duty of care. And third, the other party suffered a legal injury due to breach of duty. In the case of Jacob Matthew versus State of Punjab and others, it was held that for imposing criminal liability against the medical practitioner, a high degree of negligence is required. The guidelines for imposing criminal liability for medical negligence are: first, there must be absence of proper skill which the medical practitioner claimed to possess, or the skill possessed by him were not exercised with due care and proficiency. Thank you.